Because I think as believers now, the Bible tells us we're to be looking for Christ, not for Antichrist.
Right.
But the Bible does tell us a lot about the Antichrist,
Yes.
so that we'll know what that person will be like in the future, even though I don't think we will be here.
How about the rebuilding of the temple?
Oh yeah, that's a significant event, because we know that sometime before the midpoint of the tribulation, it has to be rebuilt, because at that point it says sacrifices are going to be stopped. Well, that means they had to have been doing them before that. So that's another significant thing that's taking place over there. They have a lot of the implements there for that, the Temple Mount Faithful. The big problem, though, is that temple is going to have to go on that on the Temple Mount up there, where the Dome of the Rock is and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Something's going to have to happen to the Dome of the Rock to build the temple. And,
you know, I just heard someone I interviewed not long ago said it may be that it could be built side by side.
Yeah, I've heard that. The most of the experts I've heard say it can't. But the other problem is, even if it could be, the Jews and the Arabs, they're not going to have their temple up there with the Dome of the Rock sitting there, and vice versa. So, but it could be that Gog-Magog invasion, when all these Islamic nations come to Israel and their armies are wiped out, that could allow them then to build the temple there, if all these nations have been destroyed. But, you know, a lot of people will say, well, that'll never happen. That temple will never be built there. Well, those are the same people that said the Jews would never come back to their land either.
And
that looked impossible, and they
are.
did. And God, by a miracle, brought them back there. So when we read these things in the Bible, we better believe that they're going to happen, because God's going to bring it to pass somehow.
Well, and the temples, they've got all the things ready.
They do.
Gershman Solomon, head of the Temple Mount Faithful, is telling me that everything's ready to go.
Yeah, that's right.
In fact, the menorah is already there on display, and the garments are on display. They've got it all.
Yeah, and some recent statistics I've read, or polls, say that for the first time since they've been back, a majority of Jews now favor a rebuilding of the temple. And so I think that's fascinating. Even a lot of the secular Jews, they don't see it as really that religiously significant, but it's the kind of the you know, focus of their life, of their culture. So they want to rebuild that, and it will be rebuilt someday. If we ever see that temple being rebuilt before the rapture takes place, we better get ready.
Get ready, get ready.
Yes.
He's coming. Now, how about, are there any wars that should be coming before the rapture?
Well, we don't know. There could be. You know, we don't know. Most of the prophecies, though, I take it, are going to be fulfilled. These prophecies we're looking at after the rapture, because that's when the end times are going to take place. Because if there's something that has to happen before the rapture, then the rapture can't happen at any time. You know, if we have to put an event before it. So, and I believe the rapture could come at any time. Now, there may be some events that happen before the rapture. They could happen then, but they don't have to.
Right.
So that's the way I would see that. But you know, we live in the time today what I call stage setting. It's just kind of like where we're seated here right now. You know, this stage was set and prepared, and then we began this program together. The stage has to be set first, though. You don't start the program and then get everything in place. Now, what we see today is Israel's back in their land. We see Europe coming together. We see, you know, these nations, Russia and these other nations. We see globalism. We see the move toward a cashless society.
Yeah.
We see the peace process.
That's coming fast.
That's coming fast. We see the world focus on the Middle East. All these things are setting the stage, I believe, for the final great drama that's going to be fulfilled.
And I don't know that this matters, but they say with the health care bill that down the road is a marking with the chip. Have you heard that?
Well, no, I've not, you know, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's so much they can put now in just a small chip. And, you know, you think about it makes a lot of sense. You think if you could put some kind of a small chip on with a little child, if they ever were taken by someone, global positioning, you know where they are. So everything that's going to happen will be sold as something that makes sense, something that's good. But then when the Antichrist comes, he's going to take all of this technology and use it for evil purposes. I don't think we need to be afraid of technology today, though.
I wouldn't take the chip.
Well, I probably wouldn't either, but I would do it more on privacy grounds, really, than anything else.
I would do it not taking it.
Yeah.
And they have a card that you can take instead of that, but I tell you that it really shows the Bible coming true. You won't be able to buy or sell without it.
That's right. Nothing we see today, though, is going to be the mark. When that mark of the beast comes, it's going to be clear what it is.
The mark of the beast.
Because you're going to have to basically pledge your allegiance to him. You're going to get either his name or number on your right hand or forehead. So it's going to be a time when people are going to have to make a choice in the future between Antichrist and Christ.
We're coming to really times that we need to look at ourselves and say, are we ready to meet him?
No, that's right. I mean, anyone who's watching who doesn't know Christ, I mean, they need to realize that they're a sinner and that Jesus is the Savior, and he's the Savior they need, and that he's the only way they can be saved, and then they need to trust in him. He purchased a pardon for each one of us on Calvary, and all we have to do is take that pardon that he offers to us. And so anyone who doesn't know Christ, I mean, he's the only refuge.
Yeah.
And we need to flee to him. And if we do know him already, these kinds of things ought to motivate us to live for him, to do what we can while we can. Time may be very short. None of us know how much time we have personally or prophetically. Personally, I don't know how long I'm going to live. Prophetically, Jesus could come today. So we need to redeem the time, as the Bible said, because the days are evil.
And be about the Father's business.
That's right.
And is there anything else you'd like to say on this book before we go?
Well, I think the main theme of the book that I want people to see is that God has foretold the future in the past. We've seen it fulfilled. These future prophecies are going to be fulfilled. And it shows us that the sovereignty of God. And there's a lot of fear today among people, a lot of uneasiness, a lot of uncertainty. And the one thing I want people to see is God is in control, and that God knows the future, and we can rest in him.
Well, I challenge you, if you don't know Jesus, call the number on your screen. You don't want to be left behind, because there is a day coming that we will be taken out of here. And then you'll be in a world you won't want to be in. And you can read some of that in this book. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for being with us. And I know you're going to want this book. It'll help you to understand Bible prophecy and where we are today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Best-selling author Mark Hitchcock brings you an exciting new read, The Amazing Claims of Bible Prophecy, available for this buy-the-book offer of $13.99. Discover how over time, hundreds of Bible prophecies have been fulfilled with 100% accuracy. Then take an in-depth look at what is to come in the days ahead. Bible prophecy expert Mark Hitchcock will help you to defend the Bible against those who doubt its truth, marvel over its fascinating prophecies, and recognize the important clues that indicate Earth's final hour is drawing near. The Amazing Claims of Bible Prophecy can be yours for this special offer of $13.99 by calling 888-725-8033 or log on to buythebook.tv and request offer number 227. That's 888-725-8033 or log on to our website buythebook.tv and request offer number 227. By the Book's Dorothy Spaulding opens her heart in her book, We Walk by Faith, Not by Sight, a story that will connect with every reader, as Dorothy shares her real adventure in faith, walking the cross thousands of miles throughout the United States for 8 years, witnessing and challenging people to be bold witnesses for Jesus. Order your copy by calling 888-725-8033 for just $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Ask for offer number 140.